Together we rise, no room for fear. In this Super League we unite as one. With laughs and debates, the love never done.
Welcome to Yorkshire Rugby League podcast, powered by Acorn Joinery Leeds. We are back. The season is back, and it's not been good news for all three of us, really, has it?
That's why I decided to do a bit of a dance. The only good thing this week for me, what intro to this?
The only good thing for me was getting bounced around the pitch by Wolfer. Yeah. Anyway, let's get on with it, Carl. Gonna go start with the biggest upset of the weekend.
Yeah, well, like I say every week, welcome from wherever you're listening, morning, afternoon, or evening, and well, what a week of results. Round one sort of turned up for us. As we said a second ago, none of our teams won. None of our teams look great, but it is only round one. So let's be positive and go with it. So Thursday night, Hull Kingston Rovers defeated to the York Knights, 19 points to 18. Plenty of talking points within that game, none so more than the Mikey Lewis trip. I mean, fellas, I'm not going to say too much about that incident because people watching and listening will think I'm biased. I mean, he's a silly lad. What was your take on it, Gaz?
I think it was stupid, to be fair. It was petulant. You think he knew what he was doing. But I do also think it's one of those in the moment where things weren't going to plan. And he sort of lashed out a little bit, but he's got away with it. He's avoided the ban. Now, that needs to be the bar for the rest of the season now. You can't, if they ban a player for one trip, I think there's going to be outrage.
Yeah, they've got to stay consistent. That's for sure, Jordan. I mean, it's one of them. If it was your play, you wouldn't want him banned, Jordan, would you? But it was petulant from him, wasn't it?
Yeah, no, definitely. Like I say, I was saying it in group. You know, we all know the quality that he possesses, and you know, pretty much like how Gaz has said it a couple of times. I think it was the brain fart, wasn't it? I wouldn't say it were malicious. I just think it were. I think his head just switched off. But I think for the time of the game and the points, you know, you were leading at that time. I just thought it would a bit silly. But I don't know. I don't know if that's something you can learn from as a player as you progress in your career. Because I know Willie Peters weren't too best pleased with him, and rightly so. Because depending on how you want to look at it, I know you might think different, Carl, or some other Rovers fans might think different, but I see it from a neutral point of view that he lost them the game from that. They were 18-6 up, and you know they were a man down. So and didn't score from that as well. They scored from a
they
man down.
They got over once from it, yeah.
Got one share. I just don't think it helped, and you know, especially with next week, this week, you know, it were a big, what's the word I'm looking for? A big deal, really. You know, considering he could have missed that game. You know, and you don't, as Gaz will agree, you know, sometimes it can come around once in your lifetime, World Cup Challenge, and if he'd have missed that, you know, he'd have only had himself to blame, wouldn't he?
Yeah, and I don't think anybody can have too many complaints whether you're a Rovers supporter or not. You know, I'm pretty much sure because they dealt with it on the field in terms of the sin bin. Yes, it probably cost Rovers the game in the end, but I think it was sort of, I won't say any easy decision for the match review panel, but it was made easier because the referee took some action on the field on the night. Now, I've had numerous messages and WhatsApps and all kinds of things from people and fans within the game that I know say, no, it should have been a red card, it should have been a 3-match ban, blah, blah, blah. Now, people can say what they like. You know, if they don't support Hull KR, they'll want him banned. But ultimately, if it was a Rhinos player going into World Cup Challenge, or a Saints player, or even a Wigan player, surely you want the English team to do as best as possible because we're representing Super League. I mean, would you say that's a fair assessment, lads, or would you think
Yeah.
he's done wrong? Let's ban him regardless.
No, I think I don't know whether have they not banned him at all? If I'm right.
He
got
got
a
penalty points and a fine, mate.
Yeah, because
Well,
I think
there's some bad lads anyway.
I think what had happened for me personally is if it were down as like a ban, if he were definitely getting a ban, which I know he hasn't, but if he was definitely going to get a ban, I'd let him have the World Cup Challenge and then I'd do it the game after. So I'd keep it to Super League. I think World Club Challenge is a one-off thing, isn't it? I think if I mean, it depends how you look at it. If he's done a red card and he's took someone's jaw off or something like that, then obviously that might be a little bit different. But I think like you said, Carl, because it was dealt on the field, I felt like it would have been a bit harsh to condemn him from playing in that game. So I think that it's probably the right decision, really. But very lucky. I wouldn't, if I were Mikey, I wouldn't be, jumping up and down. I'd be definitely, watching himself in the future with that.
I think what's bothered me with it the most is that incident has overshadowed a great result for York. Because no one's speaking about the game, they're speaking about that incident, which I get it, you know what I mean? It was a big part of the game, but it's almost taken away from a big achievement for York. They won the first ever Super League game against the treble champions, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that sort of takes me on to the, we'll park that sort of isolated incident aside, but we always sort of talk a bit more about our team's games, don't we? Now the season's up and running. I mean, credit as much as in the first 20 minutes or so, Rovers dominated the York line. It was to the Knights' credit that they withheld Rovers and they kept themselves within the game because it was literally set after set on the York line in that first 20 minutes. So they owed a massive amount of credit the York Knight players and staff and everybody that's worked to get that result on a Thursday night because they did deserve it. And soon as they rebelled Rovers in that first 20 minutes, it let them get into the latter stages of the second half. It sort of they kept within, I know there was a couple of scores down at that time, but if they'd have scored another one and it had been 3 scores, I'm pretty much certain that Rovers had gone on to win the game. So, there was 2 scores down at the point of Mikey getting binned, but they earned the right to be still within the game because of the way they defended in that first half.
Like I say, I thought that first 15, 20 minutes, we all know. I mean, I don't know the actual stats or all like that, but you had so many repeat sets in their half, like near their try line. And obviously, you didn't score from it, and that's full credit to their defence. Maybe a little bit, Rovers not hitting form, maybe with World Cup Challenge dooming this week, maybe. But the defence from York were top class. I did just think though that when you went 18-6 up, especially when is it Sue went over under sticks, or a bit like as much as York have played really well, it's one of those things that I mentioned last year, guys. That I said these new promoted teams, it might be a difference in the game of lack of fitness. So when you went 18-6 up, I was like, right, that's them to bed. They've had a great game and a great chance, like shot at the game, but this is where now, a couple of tries from a top team, and that's it. You're done for night, sort of thing, and that's what I thought. But then obviously, they came back, and I were a bit like, I don't understand how they got back in that game. I really don't. Yeah, it were a weird one. It was a weird one. I'll be honest. I did think Rovers were gonna just do it, but full credit to them.
Do you know what, Carl? From a Rovers point of view, do you reckon they got a bit complacent when there were a couple of scores up?
It's one of them.
You don't leave a bit in the tank for Thursday.
Yeah, there's lots of mitigating circumstances around how that result came about, and I don't want to sit here and make excuses for any of the Rovers players or anybody at the club because I'm not one of them. I think I text you boys as soon as I come up the ground on Thursday night, and
Yeah.
the better team won. It's as simple as that. There's no good saying, oh yeah, well, half of that team who started on Thursday night and had a pre-season, that's the first game, and so many fit. Adley went off in the warm-up. I can say as many excuses as I want to say, but ultimately for me, you've just got to hold your hand up and say, York kept themselves in the game. They came up with the clutch plays when they had the opportunities to do so, and they crashed over and won the game and had the bottle at the end to drop the goal. So from my point of view, as much as Rovers is obviously my team and, I'm Rovers through and through, you just got to give credit where it's due at times, and it was certainly due on Thursday night.
I mean,
I'll tell you what, really impressed me was, sorry, Jordan, the way, what's his name now? The halfback, he got the ball. No panic. He just went, oh, there you go. You're in space, you have it.
Yeah. Well, I think the night 7, Liam Harris, I think he was due to kick it, wasn't he? Then he shifted it onto the 6, didn't he?
Number 6, yeah.
And I think he said, I watched an interview on Friday morning,
first ever.
I think he said first ever drop goal. Yeah. He wasn't expecting it. It was just a clutch off the cuff play. So credit to him for that. And like I said, they stood up, didn't they? And when the composure was needed, he came up with the goods because, another thing as well, the weather was absolutely horrendous. It didn't stop bouncing it down all the time I was there. So you've just got to hold your hands up, lads, haven't you, and say,
it's one of those things as well, Carl. It's one of those things as well, like me and Gaz can say, we've been there. As much as it is, can be bad from the build up to World Cup Challenge, it can be bad after. Obviously, as me and Gaz will know, you can drop form massively after a World Cup Challenge because how much is taken out here by playing Aussies. But saying that, I think if you didn't have a World Cup Challenge on Thursday, I think that would be worse. And I'm not saying that you've got an excuse, but I think Rovers fans, Rovers, directors, all that stuff, Willie Peters, ain't probably worried too much about it because they know they've got a World Cup Challenge. They put that to bed, focus straight back on Super League, and that's it then. Do you know what I mean? I think if you didn't have a World Cup Challenge and you got beat by York, I think that would have been a lot worse. But people know why, do you know what I mean? Or potentially know why you weren't hitting form in that game.
Ultimately, though, you two fellas know with Saints and Rhinos, like you've just discussed, Rovers have set the bar now, not just for the Super League, but for themselves. So the minute you drop below them standards, i.e. Thursday night, you're up for, some criticism, aren't you? Whether it's playing York or you're playing Wigan away, it doesn't matter. The criticism's ready to come at you, and it's a good thing in a way because you've set those standards and you've reached the heights. So. But like I say, all this is immaterial, isn't it? Fair play to York; they got the win, and we move on, type of thing. So credit to them. So
that's why we're getting so much, banter online. Which it is what it is, and I join in with it myself. But when you go from being 4 in a row to barely scraping into the playoffs, I mean, you are under a microscope with stuff like that. But listen, you can't win it every year. You're arrogant to think so if that's the case, but it is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a bad place to be at though, Gaz, is it? It was funny. It was funny actually because I came home on Saturday night, and the lad Lloyd who lives opposite, he's a FC supporter. I don't know if he'll be listening, but I'll give him a little shout out. He's said to me on Saturday when I got home, he says, I got beat by York, did we? So I shouted across the street and said to him, you'll carry on winning games and we'll carry on winning trophies. And he couldn't shut the door quick enough, honestly. and ultimately, that's what it's all about, innit? So if we lose, the first Super League game, whoever it's against, and we come up with a decent performance against Broncos, and then maybe get a win in Vegas, I will take it all day long. You know what I mean, fellas? So everything's the bigger picture, especially in sport. So
I'm gonna wear a referee shirt that week. You think I'm joking? I've got one.
Have you really?
Yeah, match won by Colin Morris.
Nice. I don't know. Right, so we'll move on to Friday night, fellas. We saw 3 games. The first game was an early kickoff between the Catalan Dragons and Huddersfield Giants. That came out as a 26 points to 10 victory for the Dragons. I mean, I didn't see all the game, fellas. I saw most of the tries and the inputs, and Toby Sexton and Charlie Staines at the back. They seem to have a bit of a field day with Giants. I think you said, Jordan, pre-season that Giants might be a little bit off where they need to be. Was that sort of the case when you watched a bit of that game?
Well, I say I watched a little bit. I didn't manage to get watch the game fully. I mean, I've managed to watch a few games this weekend, but yeah, it's just like I was saying. Yeah, I think they're one of the teams that needs to kind of be careful this year.
Yeah. What's your take on that result, Gaz? Is it a bit too early to sort of put Catalan and say they're going to be up there with them additional players of sound, or is it one of them where it's right? Let's just calm down. It's round one.
I think it's a case of what we expected, really, isn't it? I mean, we not expecting Huddersfield to do a lot, bless them, but yeah, it's going to be well done. See how it goes. I believe I didn't watch any of the game, but I believe Lewis Starr had a good game. So yeah, just see how that goes.
Yeah, I think I know it's only early doors, but I think them players we've just said, Dodds, Sexton, and Charlie Staines, I think they'll have a big say on how Catalan's attack goes, obviously. So they can't have been much worse than they were last year. I know they picked up towards the back end of the year, but it's early doors, and hopefully they'll bring something to the Dragons. Jordan, onto your game.
The league's already been won anyway, hasn't it?
Yeah, well, we'll get round to that one in a minute, Gaz. I know. I think we all know what you're referring to. Then even Luke Littler thinks they've won the league already. So we'll get to that one in a minute, mate. Jordan, your team, narrowish defeat against the Lee Leopards, 26 points to 14. Give us your overall sort of overview of that game, and again, was there some positive signs for you, or is it just a case of they need to get going?
Yeah, there's positives there. I think there were some individual good performances. Cooper Jenkins, George Brown, his new number 27 halfback. He played really well against Widnes the week before. He wasn't the reason we lost that game. I know we were missing Jake Connor. I thought Croft and him played quite well together. I'm not going to lie. I thought we were okay. I mean, the first 10, 15 minutes, we came out guns blazing, and I don't think it mattered who were on the pitch. We just seemed to be up for it. And, I had a bit of a step back, and I was like, wow, if we can do this for 80 minutes, I can't see us losing. Then we just kind of fell off a little bit. Some good individual moments like Cooper Jenkins. I don't know if you've seen it, but that was a brilliant prop try. I thought it kind of went how I expected. I didn't think we'd win the game, and I kind of saw we were missing. I know Ash Hanley was still missing. Riley Lum had a poor-ish game. I don't know if you guys saw the try from Hughes.
Yeah, bit of a mess.
Did you see how he fell?
Yeah.
He fell, didn't he, coming off the pitch into the pitch, and then literally about 12 seconds later scored a ridiculous try. So it were a bit when that went over, it was a bit of a laughing, bit of a joke in a sense of like, it made him go 20 points to 6 up, and it were like, as you guys know, you need to kind of come out and score first, and straight off the back of the kickoff, which we were attacking. Do you know what I mean? For it to knock on and them scored, it was just a bit of a joke. But I think, like I said last week, Lee are going to do well this year. They're going to do well against all the teams. Hence the reason why I said last week they were my team of the season that I think will do well. I just think, I think it's one of those things where it's round one. I think when we get everybody back fit, I think then, we can kind of start building. We just need to get Sivo. Sivo needs to start. He needs to get into his position and stop this floating around with certain, wingers, and kind of give him his game time and him try and show his worth, or not, and go back home. I just kind of want that decision to be made. But yeah, it's all good signs. It's all good signs. It's just it's just like I say, we fell short.
Yeah. Well, Gaz, just picking up on what Jordan said there about getting a few bodies back and all that. I mean, I don't want to sound like I'm having a dig at Rhinos here, but does that show you that the depth of their squad's not where it needs to be?
I think it's too early to say, to be honest. I mean, it's one game. I mean, if you've still got injury problems, 5, 6 games in, and you're on 0 points, then I think I would agree with you on that, Cal. But it's just one of them. Just remains to be seen, doesn't it?
Yeah, I'm just trying to pick up the last couple of weeks of obviously we do a bit of analysing without our own teams, don't we? And I know Jordan was frustrated that they didn't some of the senior players that played against Widnes didn't play so great, and now we're saying obviously they've got a few injuries here and there, and we're lacking a bit of senior leadership. I mean, is it a case of when I'm looking a bit too much into it, or is the squad going to be a problem? The depth of it?
You're right. You're right, Carl. It could possibly be that. I'm hoping it's not, but it could be that. Do you know what I mean? I don't think it'd take very, very long for it to kind of dismantle. Do you know what I mean? We didn't start great last season, and we were kind of a slow burner, and we kind of started working through season, and I don't want that to be the case this year. Because obviously, as you know, we had Frawley, didn't we?
Yeah.
So we didn't actually have a full season with Croft and Connor, which a lot of people don't kind of take that into account. But we need that. We need them back. We need them two working. We need Mattautia here, which is his new second rower. Need all his props fit. Aledzki obviously weren't fit. Ashanley weren't fit. Need Sivo on field. And I think when we've got that blank canvas and we've got his full team, I think then we can start analysing them properly. I just think, yeah, it's. I think it's too hard to kind of too soon, sorry, to kind of judge them on that. Plus, let's be fair, it wasn't an easy first game, were it? Do you know what I mean? I think if we were playing, if we were playing
Toulouse, you've picked up finished top, haven't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably a fair assessment, that, mate. Yeah, so yeah, Rhinos went down to a 26-14 defeat. Gaz, your team, they came up short against the Wire, 24 points to 14. I mean, we saw your antics on the pitch at half-time. What was all that about, mate? How did that come about before we get into the game itself?
Right, so we have a WhatsApp group where we organise like away games and all that. It's I'll give him a shout out, Dave Howarth, who's really involved in the club. He's on the testimonial committee. He sorts out the away days. He put in any volunteers from Saints want to do this. Like, Joe, yeah, I'll have a go. If he gets to run it in at the Wire fan, I'm more than happy to do it. So, yeah, I got absolutely done dirty by Wolfie. And Wolfie, I'm calling you out. I want a rematch.
Wolfie, you are on notice.
You got left hanging there, didn't you, by your mascot?
Yeah, I'm boots and all. Yeah, boots and all. Yeah, bring that back.
He just watched, didn't
he? Yeah. All he done was make me run further to take the other fella out. But no, it was all good fun. It's just
it's all good fun.
A bit of a laugh at half time. It's the only highlights you had from the game, apart from Sailors' ridiculous hands at pace.
Yeah, well, we saw you made 2 cameos, half time and live on Sky when he scored that. I mean, I don't know how many pants deep you was in, but you and is it not Ben, the other lad who you do a bit with?
Tom, yeah.
Tom, yeah, looks like you'd had a few, mate. So ultimately, the result didn't go your way.
Yeah, I'm more concerned with the fact I look like Sloth from the Goonies in that video, to be honest.
No, you're doing yourself a disjustice there, disservice.
Hey, listen, you have to have a laugh at yourself, don't you?
Yeah, and that's what rugby league's all about, isn't it?
If you can't laugh at yourself, who can you laugh at?
No, that's it, mate. I mean, give us your sort of take on Saints' performance. We saw Wellesby go off, didn't we? And that obviously didn't help. He's picked up a dislocated shoulder. Wire started quite red hot within that game, didn't they? Young Cartaylor Ray, he got a couple of tries with his speed, didn't he? I mean, was it a case of Wire was probably a little bit too good and Saints weren't much at it from the get-go?
Yeah, the ruck speed was a lot faster from them in the first half, especially. And every time Taylor Ray got half a chance, he was gone. You know what? we've got an absolute talent there for the future for England.
Yeah, he's got some wheels on him, hasn't he?
I think he clocked like just over 20 mile per hour top speed.
Yeah, it's definitely one for the future for sure. I mean, was there anybody that caught your eye for Saints? When we can talk about Warrington, how good they are, because they do this every year, don't they? They have a couple of good games early, and that's it. The Super League's wrapped up within 3 rounds. I mean, from Saints' point of view, you know, you mentioned Sailor coming out the sky and picking that one out, and was there a few of the bits that was sort of promising that you could hang on to for next week?
God. I'm probably going to get lynched for this, but I think Dion Cross is having a decent couple of games. We just got beat by pace, I think, every time. I mean, no one was going to catch Taylor away, and even George Williams showing a bit of pace as well, somehow. Yeah, I think what I'd do with Wellesby being out, I'd leave Sailor at 6, because he's obviously building a partnership with Hastings there. I'd put Robertson at fullback and put Dagnall in.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask a question, Gaz. I'm going to ask you a question. Obviously, this is me just asking a question. I don't, obviously, you know better than I do. But do you know, obviously, when we were on about Lomax last year, you know, we were rumoured to go to Oldham, wasn't he? And then, obviously, ended up signing. I'm watching, obviously, because it was same as Rhino's game, so I actually was flicking between both games. And when I saw Lomax on pitch, I saw Lomax and Hastings and Sailor, and I was looking at him going, is that an issue of like Hastings is there and he's obviously like supposed to be this top dog now, because let's be fair, we know his quality, and then Lomax is there, and I'm like, what's going on? Is that maybe
Lomax
an issue
just filled in for Wellesby when he went off.
Oh right, okay, right, fair enough.
Wellesby went off injured. Do you reckon he's dislocated his shoulder? So we'll
is that when he scored?
Details for that. Yeah.
So
I think Lomax just came on for him.
All right, fair enough. I just thought it was a bit of a thingy when I saw it. I was like, what's going on?
Yeah, I mean, in saying that, Gaz,
back as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, in saying that, Gaz, it was your. I know you said, you know, Lomax has been a quality player for a lot of years, and he's a top pro, isn't he? I mean, was you a bit surprised to see him on the bench and take a space up on the bench, or is it literally that he's just there for his utility value, and obviously it showed when he replaced Wellesby?
I think he's there as a number 14. No, if we need an half back in there, he'll come in. If we need a full back or even a 9, you know, he's like say that utility player that's going to come in and do a job, which I think George Whitley might get as well at some point.
Yeah, I can see why.
Yeah, I can see why.
Yeah,
but I think he's going with what he knows at the minute, and over time he's going to suss out what his best combinations are. Paul Rowley, so.
But he's not going to be long,
it's one game. Yeah, it's one game. No, I think it could be his last season now. I think
that's what I mean. So for now, if that works, you know what I mean, why not?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's he's been a hell of a servant, like you say. If he can tick a box for roles for the rest of the season, I'm sure roles will make that happen. Just a word on Jackson Hastings, Gaz. Like we keep saying, don't we? It's on the early. I mean, did he show some leadership skills and parts of his game that you can foresee for Saints for the rest of the season?
I'll use a couple of examples. I've seen people slating him for the short dropouts. Why not try that early in the game? You know, you want to keep possession. I would rather lose the ball, try something, than trying to keep it basic and trying to be too careful, which is what we've done for 3 seasons under Wellens. It was always that one up rugby every time. Then obviously 5 tackles and a kick. I want to see players taking risks, and if we lose the ball or lose a try, whatever, so be it. It'll come off eventually. Just it's practice.
You do see a lot more of it nowadays.
Yeah,
it does happen a lot more nowadays.
Yeah, I mean Warrington was throwing the ball around like it was not spud.
Yeah, that's it. It's well, like I said earlier, Warrington won the league already, so we may as well wrap up and not do any more podcasts for the rest of the year.
Congratulations, Warrington. Well done.
Yeah, when you go on social media, and I don't think Luke Littler's helped the way he come out and said about he's got more world champs than St Helens, blah blah blah. Well, as far as I'm aware, Wire have 0. So maybe just be
If
careful
he's
what you're
talking
saying.
about Mike Smith, then yeah, but as a whole,
Yeah.
dickhead.
Yeah, well, it makes it interesting, especially obviously the rivalry's there and the banter's still there. But unfortunately, the spoils go to the wire
No,
on that particular.
they think it's a
occasion.
rivalry. Our
Oh, is it
rival's
one of
winning,
them?
not Warrington. They're just
Oh, is it
knackered
one of
because they
them?
haven't
Is
got
it?
witness in there. That's all it is. Noisy neighbours.
Ah, well, it's all
I'm
about
not being
Google
bitter
Maps,
at
and
all, by the way.
you know where you are, mate, more than us we do. You know, us Yorkshire lads. So
They're a
you'll know
different
that.
county, for Christ's sake.
Are they?
We've technically got 3 derbies now,
Yeah.
haven't we? We've got Wakey, Cass, and Bradford.
Oh,
Yeah.
So technically, yeah, we've got 3 derbies. I mean, we call Bradford as derby, obviously, but
We're not lads. We're not going to get onto this debate of what a derby is, are we? We could be here all night.
no.
Swiftly moving on then.
Don't get me and Carl started on this.
Yeah, exactly. Swiftly moving on. Saturday's games. Hull FC there came up with a 27 points to 20 win over the Bradford Bulls. It was a very,
Oh, what a
very,
game that
very
was.
tight game. Me being the romantic I am, I took the missus out for something to eat and a few drinks. And funnily enough, we caught a bit of it in the pub. I mean, I'm such a romance, so she doesn't
That's
know how
convenient, isn't
lucky
it?
she is. Yeah, she doesn't know how
Tell you
lucky
what.
she is, does she? But
You're
yeah,
like the whole version of Woody. Sorry, Rage, what else are you but Hull?
Yeah, but in regards to that game, it was closer than I know. There's only 7 points on the final scoreboard, but it literally went down to the last couple of minutes, and it was only in the last minute or so that Hull scored, and then put a bit of clear daylight between the two teams. But leading up to that, it was ebbing and flowing all time, and one team would score, the other one would score. So it showed you how close the game was. There's a couple of talking points within that game. Aidan Caesar, I thought he should have been sent to the bin. A high shot on Joe Miller. I mean, we were talking about consistency with referees earlier on, Gaz, weren't we? I can't believe it was missed, to be honest. And our man Connor Wynn, he gets 2 tries, and who knows if that call had gone one way. It's as thingy as that, isn't it? I mean, it could have gone Bradford's way if Hull FC was down to 12 for a period of time, and that could have been the difference. So it showed you how tight that game was right until the death of the game. I mean, there was another talking point. Big Sam Lasoni. Yeah. This is what I'm saying.
I love how I always get pulled up though.
Yeah, it's funny, isn't it? Very funny. Well, I mean, there was an incident with Sam Lasoni as well. The big lad who come over from Leeds is obviously a unit, but there was a bit of I thought it was a crusher tackle at the time, and I think it's been missed and cleared with the match review panel. So obviously, what do I know? But a couple of incidents could have gone either way, and like you say, on another day, the result could have gone the other way as well. So. But I think it justifies us opinion with the 3 new teams that obviously they are going to compete and make it difficult for everybody in Super League. So if you're not quite on your game, it don't matter who you are, as York and proved to Rovers on Thursday night, that if you're not on the game and you're not up top level, you can get turned over by these new teams.
I think what it is as well is that obviously me included, because obviously I was the one that kind of said it last season about the fitness sort of thing. I think when you saw, the game that's just passed us by, I think when you analyse it a little bit, I think, because we've not had relegation promotion and you've had these teams that have, we're talking about York, winning league and staying there because we've not had no promotion, etc. I think what it happens is it becomes a thing where they've been biting at the bit for so long that they've taken the opportunities and they know that they've got to kind of perform, and it's almost like they've not been building overnight. They've been building for 18 months, and as soon as they were in Super League, we're right. We know we're good enough. Bang, we're going. And I think that's what's hit these other teams. I don't think they expected them to be up for it as much. Maybe almost like it's a cup final for them, and they're just kind of putting everything out on the field, and that may sizzle out. Who knows? It might sizzle out in coming rounds, but for now, full credit to them.
Yeah, you can only judge them on what they've done so far. Yeah, so then the other game on Saturday, guys, as you were saying with Toulouse, Wakefield 16, Toulouse 18. Again, another shock, shock on the cards. It could have been 3-3 for the newly promoted teams. Again, it just shows you if you're slightly off, you can get beat, guys. I mean, the bits you saw of that game, mate, was I think Toulouse was pretty much deserved the win.
Yeah, and considering Monsieur Rouge hit the woodwork 3 times from conversions, I mean, fair play to him, like, you know what I mean? Yeah, he must be the unluckiest kicker in the league at the moment.
Yeah, I think out of them three promoted teams, I think I said it, and we're all guilty. We thought Toulouse would struggle. Now we're not getting carried away. It's round 1, but so far they've done okay, haven't they? And you've got a shock win over Wakefield.
And don't Wakey aren't a bad side either, to be fair.
No, Wakey are a good team, aren't they? They're a good side. So, like Jordan said, I think it's a fair point that let's see in 5 or 6 more rounds if them squads can hold up. See if they have got the depth to compete for large parts of the season rather than just 1 or 2 rounds. Obviously, that will be all to be seen. Moving on to Sunday's games, fellas. Castleford Tigers 16, the Wigan Warriors 26. I mean, it was a bit of a bog down there. Cass was in it for quite a large part of the game.
Sure.
Again,
I was really impressed
errors.
with Cassie's goal line defence.
Yeah, they looked a lot better, didn't they?
5-6 sets on the line.
Yeah. I mean, it's one of them. Obviously, they're rebuilding out. They was poor last season, let's be honest. They've added the big winger at the back, haven't they? I mean, he come up with a couple of errors, but also he put a couple of people on the backsides as well, didn't they? So again,
he scored, didn't he? He scored and all.
Yeah. Again, for Cass, a few games in and get some combinations going, I'm pretty sure they'll be a lot better than there was last year. As for the Warriors, we know what we're going to get from the Warriors, don't we? Consistent wins, performances, strong forwards ploughing for the middle, and then Field and French rock up at the back end of sets, don't they, and put some points on. Young Eckersley, he got a couple of tries again. He looks like he's going to be a future winger for club and country. I mean,
I do rate him.
He's a finisher, isn't he? And he looks like he's bulked up a bit as well, Gaz. So he's going to be another one to watch.
Yeah, he's still a young lad. He's filled out a bit, but he's got Liam Marshall on the other side. Probably one of the better wingers to learn from, because he might not be as good a defender as he used to be, but he knows where to be at all times. He knows where to collect the ball.
Yeah, Wigan are one of them teams, aren't they? They haven't really changed too much, have they? I know the salary cap's full and all the rest of it, but they just bring these players in, don't they? Lads come through the academy, like Saints, like Rhinos.
Is it like Eckersley? He's
come through the academy, don't they?
Yeah, he scored a good try, didn't
he? Yeah. So I mean, fair play to them. We know what we're getting from Warriors. They're going to be there, there or thereabouts back end of the season. That pretty much concludes round 1, fellas. Guys, do you want to take us on to Bad Lads Corner, and then you've got a little rant about your mate, haven't you?
Yeah, this is it's a busy one today, this week, so please bear with me on this one. Owen Trout, grade A head contact. There's been no not applicable. There's nothing been added to that. Luke Thompson, again, same. Grade A dangerous throw, not applicable. Alan Kieran gets a fine. Ollie Pattinson, no further action. Liam Hood, Peter Hiku, again, no further action on theirs. Elliot Minicella, I didn't see what he did, to be honest. Was this one that was paused later on?
Yeah, I didn't see much at the time, and it's only when I read through the match review at dinner time what I caught it really.
Yeah. Jay Whitbread, again, no further action. The RFL's blue-eyed boy, Mr. Michael Lewis, got a slap on the wrist. No, I'm joking.
God, you're as bad as them black and whites.
I just like having a wind up.
No, not you.
Two FC players also interesting players. A Catalan player and an FC player both got bans. Ben Garcia for grade A leg contact. Now, because of his previous, he's copped a 1-match ban and a fine. Josh Allen, no further action on his. Same with Ryan Sutton and Liggy Sow, who from previous has copped a 2-match ban for a grade D dangerous contact. So there you go. And another person I'm pointing to Bad Lads Corner, or in my bad books, is
It's the unofficial but Bad Lads Corner, or this is your own personal Bad Lads
this is my
Corner?
own personal one. Yeah.
Nice.
Because Mr. John, I love the sound of my own voice, Wilkin, has come out and said some unsavoury things about St Helens Club. Now, whether he's right or wrong, you can't come out with stuff like that. You know what I mean? Someone's told him something in confidence and he's blabbed it all over Sky Sports.
What's he said?
He's basically come out and said how bad the club are, the way they've dealt with Mark Percival and Mike Rush and Paul Wellens and all that. Basically just had a pop at the club.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, a club who gave him over 10 years of wages for being bang average player. I'll say it, bang average player. Yeah, it's one of them. But yeah, whether he's right or not, I believe the club could have him bang to rights with what he said, but I don't think they will do because it's just more of a media edit than it needs to be.
Yeah,
I'll go deeper into this on Thursday when I'm a bit more calm about it because I'm still a bit wound up. So, yeah, John Wilkin, just you can't. It's like us coming on here and me going just slagging off every club. You know, you can't do that. Slander at the end of the day, with and especially if he's wrong. There is things I've heard regarding issues there, but I'm not going to go into it because one, it's not official unless the club or player or whoever announce it themselves. So I'm staying clear of that. So, yeah, John, team of the week before I start getting pissed off.
yeah, move us on swiftly, Jordan. Little new segment for yourself. Little team that's caught your eye this week. Who is it and why, mate?
Yeah, it's got to be York Knights. Got to be York Knights for me. It's not just because obviously they did the treble winners. I just thought like I were analysing them as they were playing, and like say when you went 18-6 up, I kind of thought to myself, right, that's put to bed. You know, they've had a good game, but that's kind of it now. Big boys have come out. You've got the quality to shut the game out, and that's what's happened. And when they were on attack, I were kind of looking at it and going, I don't know how they can. They don't seem. They seemed a bit like Leeds were with Lee, where they were doing a set and it were like they're really good in defence, but I was looking at it and going, I don't know how they're going to get a try here because they haven't got the quality that Rovers have. Sorry, I don't see them doing out here, and they did, and you know they got a penalty or they got another set, and they just managed to do it. And I think for the sheer defensive effort on the night and the finding themselves the will to win that game and coming off and winning at the end with dramatic fashion, and the fact it's the first ever Super League game, Super League win, full credit to them. And you know I don't like saying that because obviously I like Rovers, but
your second team, aren't they? That's why.
Second team, yeah, of course they are, yeah.
Rovers are every second team.
He talks more about Rovers than he does about Leeds.
So
to be fair, I find it hard to disagree with Gaz on that one.
Yeah.
No,
but yeah,
full credit to him, mate.
Full credit to him, yeah. I mean, like I say, we're on here and we can defend his own teams and all that stuff, but I think when something happens like that, I think you just kind of got to give it to them. And like you say, I'm not saying that they're going to go and win every game or they're not going to, you know, beat all the other top teams. It might just be a flash in pan and they might, you know, sizzle out like I was saying, but you've got to go with what's in front of you than the current results. And You know,
Yeah, of course.
they're my team at week.
Yeah, no, fair play to them, credit to them, and they deserve it. Right, we've still got a bit to get through, so I'll get my skates on. News round. There's a few bits, guys, isn't there? I mean, Matt
Yeah.
Russell.
Can I just throw a quick one in, which I forgot
Yeah,
to
of
mention
course.
to you?
No, you're okay, mate.
Saints women have launched their own standalone away kits. The V, like on black, looks like a firework going, and the three colours represent the players who came before, the players now, and the future of the women. So I've pre-ordered one myself. So just standing by the women's game as well. Made history by the first club to do it.
I love little touches like that when they bring something out, especially on a jersey where there's a meaning behind it. Because we see that many clubs now with they always put a different colour on a jersey and that's it. They sell it, don't they?
Yeah.
You know, so there's some meaning within some of these jersey, and it's like you say, mate. It's definitely the right thing to give it a shout out for sure. So yeah, I take it there. Just club shop and online to buy.
They're available for pre-order at the moment. So the deadline for that is the 21st, I think. 20. We won't be 31st. We're not in February, for Christ's sake. Yeah. But I've just backed a picture of it into the group there. If you want to sling that on when you put it in, get it, Jordan.
Oh yeah, we'll do.
Yes, spot on.
There's also another little thing, Carl. Just sorry before you carry on. I don't know if it's part. Don't know if it's part of news round or not, but it's just something that I wanted to mention. I don't know if you've both seen the post on Bradford. Bradford Bulls have done that the first home game against Catalans.
Yeah, I was going to mention that, mate.
Yeah, they put a little thing on, haven't they? All
for the Bradford football
heritage
supporters.
Yeah, I thought that was a nice touch. That.
No, it is. I think it's £10 in it if you're a season pass at Bradford football. I think it's £10 for a ticket. So these people trying to do, entice people into the ground, and that can only be good for the game, mate. That's for sure. I think, to be fair to them black and white idiots as well, I'm pretty sure they did kids for £1 or something at weekend.
Yeah, you can't be saying things like that. This is public.
Yeah, but no, credit to them, mate, because like you say, anything we can do to get these stadiums and bums on seats and get stadiums full, it's regardless of whose team it is. Jokes aside, it's only good for the game, innit? So
yeah, of course,
fair play to all the teams who are doing that.
As well, I will say well done to Warrington for filling the stadium as well on Friday.
Yeah. I've got a little segment after news round to discuss that anyway, fellas. So so anyway, so news round. Matty Russell signs for the Catalan Dragons. I think it's a rolling contract as it stands. Obviously, they're just looking for a bit of depth within their squad. Castleford Tigers, they're set to be eyeing up Hull KR prop Jack Brown. Jack's a very good squad player. We discussed this last week, didn't we, in terms of people trying to get into Rovers' squad. It's difficult. So if Cass do come in for him, I'm pretty sure he'll go there because he's got friends there like George Lawler and Jordan Lane, etc. So that'll be pretty much a good fit for him. Castleford Tigers again. They're set to announce the signing of Leigh playmaker Ben McNamara. Again, he can play a number of positions. And this is, another prime example of Castleford building. St Helens news, Gaz, very quickly. I know you've called him a few times, Mike Rush, but he's been, doesn't matter what you say about the last few years. He's been there for 27 years as a CEO of one club. He must have done something right for a long period of time, mate. Give us your sort of overall riding emotion with the decision and what he's done for Saints.
Yeah, I mean, he was like the head of youth development, and he worked his way up to CEO. He did a very good job at the club until he got a CEO job, and then that's when he started going. But I think it's the right time to make changes higher up in the club. I mean, you've got McManus there still. He's going to take over the CEO job for the time being, even though he's the chairman. But we'll see where it goes from there. I would like them to bring on a director of rugby as well as the CEO. Let the CEO deal the business, and then director of rugby to do with the the recruitment and the scouting and all that.
I heard John Wilkins going to be director of rugby.
Oh, you stop staring the pot, you. Stop staring the pot.
Yeah.
We've just calmed him down, and now you're staring pot with a big wooden spoon.
Sorry, guys.
After what he said, I don't think the club would have him back anyway. I think they'll probably ban him from the bloody country, the club.
Yeah.
No.
He'll be lucky to get in back in the ground to
Tell
do
you
some
what.
Sky Sports work.
If he turns up on Friday, he's going to get a warm reception, put it that way.
Mm.
Yeah. Well, it'll be rather him or Sam Tompkins. So either way, one of them's going to get it out there.
Do you know what? I think Sam Tompkins is a better pundit anyway. I'd rather he was there.
Yeah.
No, I do agree. I was thinking more about the Wigan connection, mate, rather than his professional.
I know, but that has to be expected, though, isn't it? But when it's one of your own, that's done it. It's just snake.
Sorry, guys.
What I would say about Mike Rush is, what I would say about Mike Rush, fellas, is the fact that obviously he's realised time's time. So in a way, you've got to give him a little bit of credit for that as well, haven't you? Because he could have carried on, couldn't he? You know, so I know it might pain you to say that.
You could ask a lot of the fan base who will say he outstayed his welcome by a few years, but it's time that changes were made higher up in the club, and I've heard a few things that I'm not going to disclose on here or my own podcast because none of it's official. But he's not, from what I've heard, he's not in a good light with a few people. So I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, we'll watch that space and see what happens with that. We discussed it earlier, didn't we, when we reviewed the Saints Warrington game. Sorry, Jack Wellesby's set to be out because he's got a rumoured dislocated shoulder. We discussed that. There's people who can fill in for that, Gaz. So I don't think it's probably worth going into too much detail because we discussed it earlier.
Yeah, we've already been there, haven't we?
Yeah. Dean Hadley, he pulled out in the warm-up against York on Thursday night due to a rib injury. He's in doubt for the Well Club Challenge on Thursday at the MKM Stadium, the home of Hull City. Sorry. So
I thought he was a big miss on Thursday, to be honest with you.
Yeah, he's a workhorse as well as offers quality. So if he doesn't play on Thursday, he'll be gutted because it's a big hole to fill. So we'll just watch that one closely and see how that pans out. Something else I read earlier on today, Leeds Rhinos, Ash Hanley and Ledsky, they're still ruled out for round 2 games. I mean, I don't know the full extent of their injuries, but if they're missing a couple of weeks, it's normally fairly serious, Jordan. We discussed that, didn't we, earlier, that as soon as you get some bodies back, I think they'll start improving.
Yeah, I did it on my, I announced it on my news round earlier that they're Ash Hanley's just got a couple of weeks. I think it's the thigh injury or a hamstring. I'm not too sure, and I'm not too sure what's up with Ledsky, but I think it is maybe a 1 week, 2 week thing before they're back.
Yeah, and like you say, they'll bring us up when they do come back. Just to close news round off, what I want to do is I want to pay a bit of credit to the supporters within the Super League. We had some great attendances over the weekend, in the games, from pretty much all the games. So I'll quickly just run through the attendances. York, Hull KR, there was 8,500 there, which is decent for York. Dragons, Giants, there was 7,252. Again, a half decent turnout. Lee versus Rhinos, there was nearly 10,000 there. And as you said earlier, Gaz, with Wire, they're pretty much sold out, didn't they? There was 13,000.
It was a full sellout. It was capacity sellout.
Yeah, so fair play to them. Wakey Toulouse, just over 8,500. Hull FC and Bradford, great number this, a number of the round, 16,653, sorry. Some great numbers there. Like I said, they did some cheap tickets and all the rest of it, but it clearly worked, didn't it? So, like I say, as much as they do my head in, fair play to them and fair play to Bradford for bringing a few numbers over also. Yeah, of course it is, mate. It's only good for the game. And the last fixture, Cass versus Wigan, there was 8,259 in total, which again is a good effort because the jungle is only small, isn't it? So them attendance figures, are great, and hopefully we can keep lifting them figures as we get deeper and deeper into the season, because ultimately that is what we all want, isn't it? So yeah, credit to everybody.
Our game against Warrington was 15,064.
Yeah,
which is the biggest home attendance Warrington have had in 52 years.
To be fair though,
So,
I've got to say,
well done to them.
I've got to say though, that is a good game to go to. Regardless of how Warrington have been or how Saints have been, when you start a season, that's your first round. That is going to attract a lot of people because that is a big game. That.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wouldn't it be nice if we could, like you say, hold these figures or even add to them? It just shows you that we are getting there. It's no point having these good attendances now and then in 4 or 5 rounds absolutely going on the backside, is it? We all want them to get bigger and better all the time and make us products better on the field and off the field. I don't, like I say, hopefully that can carry on. So, fellas,
yes, get your backside to that stadium, Jordan.
yeah. So any cabbage potatoes that are watching, I've got a few mates. I won't mention all the supports. Like to give it a load, but don't want to get off the sofa.
They don't wear black and white there.
Some of them do, some of them don't. So yeah, get off your backside and get to the grounds and let's get these attendances even better than they are for round 1. So looking towards round 2, fellas. First, before we hit round 2, we've got a small matter of the World Club Challenge on Thursday night. Hull Kingston Rovers versus the Brisbane Broncos, obviously from the MKM Stadium. As you said, Gaz, the other day, Craven Park West.
Just grow up.
Craven Park West. I mean,
why just come to a game and call it Hull Stadium?
Well, we can't do that, can we? There's always has to be that rivalry and banter there. That's just it. That's just the way it is.
Do you know what? Honestly, it just shows how much of a gang of shithouses at KR are by doing that.
Hey, to be fair, mate,
we've got our badge on your stadium. Deal with that.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I think Paul Lakin came out when the fixture had been announced at the MKM, he came out and said, "Look, we understand that all the supporters would love it at Craven Park, but it just wasn't financially viable for them that have actually lost money playing it at Craven Park."
I believe so. Yeah.
So fair play to the council for letting MKM host us. The game itself, fellas. Obviously, I only expect honest and brute answers from the pair of you.
Can you bring yourself to thank Hull FC, or you're sick with City?
Thank them for what?
Give them the stadium.
It's not their stadium. It's the home of.
Well, I'm going to ask that. I'm going to say, is that closer to FC? That's sort of around your Hull.
Say that again, mate. Sorry.
I said I was going to ask that question. Is MKM Stadium? Is it more over to Hull FC? Is it more over that side?
Yeah, it's West Hull. Yeah. So Rovers and myself from East Hull. But it's only like going to watch Hull City football, isn't it?
Well, yeah, I suppose, yeah.
So I mean, jokes aside, fellas, it's going to be a difficult game for Rovers, even if they're at full strength. I mean, how do you see it going, Gaz? I know Saints obviously they did their bit when they went across to Australia and won that World Club Challenge. Honest answers only, fellas. I won't be offended.
Right. So, from what I've seen on Thursday, I would say they get absolutely annihilated. But that being said, no one gave us a chance in Penrith. So you just don't know what's going to happen on the day, do you? Yeah, you just don't know what's going to happen on the day. It probably fueled us by Phil Gould saying, "Oh, Penrith can declare at half time." All right, okay, then let's see what you have to say about this. And I think Willie Peters would take exception to something like that as well.
Yeah, I mean, Jordan Rhinos have played in a few of these games before at Headingley, haven't they? I mean, I think they played Melbourne a few years back, didn't they? And
Ellen Road,
sorry. And the great experiences these games, but ultimately you want the result to go your way, don't you?
Yeah, you do. And like I say, we've had some shocking weather World Cup Challenge games. I think we did Melbourne. I think it were 10-4 or something like that. And it were like torrential rain. I remember Danny Maguire got injured after like 10 minutes and he were off pitch, and that were in for the game, and it was just an arm wrestle. I do very much see it being an arm wrestle game. I'm gonna say Rovers, and that ain't me being biased or anything. I just think I think they're gonna get themselves gathered, and it's gonna be a tight game. It's gonna be a tight game. I wouldn't even be surprised if it's a 2-point game. It's a couple of points. I think both teams are going to give it. I don't think it's going to be a high scoring game. I think it's going to be a very defensive game. Won't be surprised if there's a couple of sin bins with it being such a high intensity game. But I think you're going to do it by a couple of points.
Big call, mate. Big call. I think the opposite. I think they'll do us by a couple of points. I think it'll be a close game, like you said. I think conditions will determine how the game pans out. Obviously, Hull FC played on that pitch on Saturday, and I think on Friday night, Hull City, they played Chelsea on that pitch as well. So it's cut up quite a bit, and it's a bit boggy. So I don't expect it to be a high scoring game. I think we're pretty much due for a lot of rain between now and Thursday night. So it'll be difficult, but I think, as much as take my Rovers hat off, I think Brisbane will just be that little bit too strong.
Think how I used to analyse it, Carl, is when obviously Rhinos were in there, and I'm sure Gaz probably would agree with me as well. When, like I say, Leeds were playing at Ellen Road and we had torrential rain, the weather suits us, and I'm not saying it's a guaranteed win, whatever, but like, they are getting obviously better with the weather, but I feel like if it is quite bad rain, that is kind of a bit of a lifeline for you because we are used to it.
That's a bit of a myth, that, Jordan.
I know.
When they get rain in Australia, it's 10 times worse than we get it. So that's not going to bother. Our rain's not going to bother them.
Fair enough. I just from my personal experience, Rhinos have always preferred, it raining every time we've played in a World Cup Challenge, and it's rained, we've played well, and it is up the jumper sort of thing. I get that, but like as I would see it, Aussies don't play the fancy game. They can't take a run, they can't make these breaks that they do in NRL because it's boggy, and I think that's where the Super League teams actually thrive because we are up the jumper, we are. We'll get us props in. We'll drive ball down, and we'll win them games. So I think that's what will happen on Thursday night. And best team win. End of the day.
Yeah, that's it, innit? I mean, there's some whispers that certain fan bases, again, I'm going to call them out because they're just doing it all night. I've got friends who are Hull FC supporters. They've already booked their Broncos jersey. They'll have their Broncos. I mean, all this nonsense. Surely you want the English team to win.
Yeah, that's a bit.
Surely, guys. When we're going to play in them games,
like I said, I want the trophy to stay on these shows.
Yeah,
but I just think Brisbane are going to have a bit too much.
I mean, regarding that game, I'm praying to God I'm wrong, but I think Brisbane will win it by a score. But then in saying that, I've watched Rovers for nearly 40 years. Some games they can be terrible.
By the way,
I think it was just the availability. Yeah.
Oh, you'd have
from round 2, but then obviously pitch availability as well. So yeah, let's just see, and let's see if the whole of England can get behind the Robins. And let's try and create a bit of history once again. So yeah, that pretty much sorts the World Club Challenge out. We've still got round 2 games starting Friday night. The teams that are ours, I will just ask for a prediction. It just makes it easier and quicker. Bradford at home to Catalan. Guys, how do you see that one?
Do you know what? I'm actually going to go Bradford win there. Take one, but Bradford win.
Yeah, I'll say Bradford. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm going to go Bradford as well. So hopefully that's the case, and they get a win. Your team, Jordan, you'll play York at home. I mean, without going, into too much detail, they're going to start getting bodies back, like you've said.
Yeah.
Is it a case of can you stop the night? So they've got a bit of momentum now. Do you expect Rhinos to win at home? How do you see that one?
Yeah, I'm going to back us. I'm going to back us to win that game.
Yeah,
I can't give a score line
you.
because I think it might be close, but I think we'll win.
Yeah, I think home advantage will make that one. I won't say straightforward, but I think that'll be the difference.
Yeah.
So there was the. Sorry, we've got another game on Friday night. Sorry, guys, nearly missed you out then. St. Helens versus Leigh.
So I'm pretending it's not happening as well. For two reasons, right? One, I don't see us getting a win against Leigh after last week. And two, I have to put it out there, Anna. On my other podcast in that number, me and Ben, we did predictions through the season, and you gained so many points for how close you were and all that. And the loser has to do a forfeit, right? And I lost by one single point. Do you know what I have to do? I have to do the pre-match video outside the stadium wearing a bloody Wigan shirt.
No, that's hey. I'm all for forfeits, but you may as well do 10 years in prison. That's ridiculous.
Hey, listen. I'm a man of my word, and a bet's a bet, so I will do it. And the funny thing is, I have 6 fans giving it me, and I'm going to get it from Leigh fans as well.
You'll get it from me.
Yeah, I'm going to get it from you and all.
If there's anybody listening who follows the fan base of St. Helens or Leigh Leopards, let's be having a video, Gaz, with this Wigan shirt on. Jordan can edit, and we'll come up with a bit of a video ready for round 3's podcast. How about that?
Off. It's bad enough doing my own video of it.
Hey, fair play to you, mate, because you won't catch me doing that. That's for sure. Yeah. So you don't see yourself winning, mate? Is it as
I mean, I don't know.
I'm a little bit disheartened.
Yeah, I'm just going off obviously the weekend's games, but you never know, do you? I mean, we haven't got a great record against what you call top 6 clubs at the minute, so yeah, just have to see what happens, won't we?
Yeah, I'm sure they'll give it a crack because it's your first home game, and you need to try and start the season with a bit of momentum, don't you?
Yeah. Jordan, if I'm taking offence to this. Love Rugby League put a post out saying we haven't beat a top side in X amount of games, but we've beat Leeds. They're saying Leeds are not a big side.
Oh wow!
I'll have a word with Matt Shaw if I were you. I'll send it to you, Jordan.
Wow.
I'm actually quite offended by that.
I've come to the conclusion you're what you call it, Gaz. The two people that you least like in the world at the minute is Matt Shaw and Jonathan Wilkin.
I mean, I wouldn't say I hate them or anything like that, but they just do me head in.
Do you know what? I can understand a little bit where he's coming from, because it's like Leeds and Warrington, for example. The last couple of years, we haven't been where we should be. It's only been obviously last season that Leeds got into playoffs for the first time in God knows how many years. So I can understand it by that, but it's like saying Warrington out of top side, Catalan's out of top side. No matter where they finish, that they technically are a top side because they are supposed to be playoffs, aren't they? Do you know what I mean? So I kind of understand what he means, but yeah, I'll have a word.
I'll have a word.
Saturday, Castleford Tigers go over to Toulouse to play them. Jordan, Toulouse or Tigers?
Waiting to lose?
Yes, mate.
Yeah, I'll go Toulouse.
Guys, how are you seeing that
go
one?
with that. Yeah, I'll agree with that one.
I'm going to go Cast Tigers. I think that big winger might have a bit of a field day if they can give him ball early. So that's my prediction for that. 2-1 in terms of that result. Another game on Saturday, the Wigan Warriors' first home game to the Black and Whites of Hull FC. Are we going to be Wigan or FC, Gaz? I mean, are they just going to be too strong at home?
Yeah, you'll like this one. I think Wigan will do a number on them, to be honest.
Jordan, how will you see that one, mate?
A big number.
I'm going to say Hull. And that's just because of how they were playing. They looked all right against Bradford. You know, I know they had a scare and stuff, but they looked all right. I'm going to just say that they're going to nip them. Yeah.
Yeah, well, people that are listening might be absolutely shocked by what I'm going to say here, but I'm going to say Hull FC as well. For the reasons that our sponsor, Acorn Joinery, the director, Graham, he's a Wigan supporter. And every time I speak to him when it's Hull FC and Wigan, he's literally like they're our bogey team. I think a couple of seasons ago, they won something like 12, 13 games on the bounce. And the following game, they lost to Hull FC and they started winning again.
Oh, the cup game.
Yeah, so there's something there where Hull just seem to be able to get up playing against Wigan. So for that reason, I'm going to go with an Hull FC win. But I think it will be close for definite.
No, I'm not that brave.
No, maybe I'm just stupid. Who knows? You know, and to close
said
round 2 out on the Sunday. Yeah. The missus says the same, mate, so it's no shock. So on the Sunday, round 2, Huddersfield Giants, they're at home to the Wakefield Trinity. Yeah, it is Wakefield Trinity. They're not Wildcats anymore, are they?
I said that. I've said that before. I also said Lee Centurions.
Yeah, so I mean,
Yeah.
Obviously, both teams coming off the back of a loss. Huddersfield got beat by the Dragons and Wakefield got beat by Toulouse. Our man Cam Scott, he's on, as we're going to say in a minute. How do you see that one going, Jordan? Giants or Trin?
I think Wakefield will do quite a heavy result, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, not many.
Yeah,
not many,
I'll go Wakefield.
Teams. Yeah, I think we're all in agreement there. I think not many Darryl Powell teams lose like they did and don't get a reaction out of the players. Yeah. So I'm expecting they're not playing far away, are they? And I expect a reaction. That pretty much sums the next roundery sort of predictions. Sorry, can't get my words out. And that pretty much wraps us up, Gaz, doesn't it?
Yeah. So just everyone, I really appreciate the support. Keep liking, sharing, subscribing. Tell your mates, tell their mates, tell the mates' dog. I know, tell everyone. Massive thank you to Acorn Joinery Leeds for sponsoring for this season again as well. And we've got Cam Scott, the Wakefield Centre, coming on next up. So, don't miss that. And remember, the podcast is for the fans, by the fans.